Hello and welcome to another live coaching broadcasting from Maui. And I want to know if you're joining us, where you're joining from. Did you sail this week? What is going on? What is going on in your windsurfing life? We're just getting things set up here and going to get the Facebook group shared. There we go. Getting things set up. And yeah, just getting set up here. All right, if you're joining us, let us know where you're joining from. All right, here we go. Get the post in the Facebook group. If you want to level up, or if you know someone that wants to level up their windsurfing, check out windsurfingmasterclass.com. We've got a few courses up here. Learn to Loop, which has a great community attached to it. Fast Tech Secrets, which is really proven and shown to help you improve your tax. In like 4 weeks, you can already start improving your tax going through the exercises in this course. We've also got Mindset Secrets, as well as a Shove It course. And you can gift these courses. So if you want to gift the course, I think you need to be logged out. And then you can go through the checkout process and gift the course. So if you want to give someone the gift of better tax for Christmas, you can do it. All right, we're gonna jump into the Facebook group. We got a good group already in the chat. We've got Jorg in Sweden. No surfing yet. How's your injury? Is it healed up? We've got Ragnar, dreaming of windsurfing in the gym. Suna, winless weeks up here, but next week looks promising. Awesome. Christoph had one summer-like session. Summer-like session in December. Awesome. And what else? Matt had 3 fun sessions on the south coast of England. That's pretty awesome. Christoph wants to know if I will release an updated Vulcan class. Yes, I will. So the plan for the online courses is to do. So I have. I'd like to update the Vulcan one. I have a couple updates I'm going to put in before I do any new courses. Some updates to the Shove It course. There's just a couple things I want to add to it to help with the learning journey. And then I've got some new courses as well. I've been outlining like a backside wave riding course and a few other things. But honestly, I expected the forward loop course. It has a pretty good community. I expected more people, and so that sort of slowed my focus from focusing on the online stuff. I mean, I'm still going to be developing new courses, but it shifted my focus to some more in-person events, in-person coaching, which, by the way, big admin announcement, we are going to Cape Town. There is going to be a Cape Town Masterclass in January. The dates, which are pretty much the final dates, I'm going to release the application later today, is going to be January 24th to 30th. That's going to be the window for the masterclass based out of Cape Town. Ideally, the masterclass is going to be focused a little bit more on the southern part of Cape Town than the northern part. And there's a few reasons for this. The first is I think it is the best part of Cape Town in terms of the natural beauty, the lifestyle, the energy, and also the windsurfing. I really like the windsurfing on the southern part of Cape Town. We will be coming north if need be for the wind, but more focused on the southern part. Unlike a lot of other windsurf programs that are more based around Big Bay, we're going to be based more on the southern side. And so it's an opportunity to show those spots, how to sail them, how to get to know them. And I show you my ideal way of visiting Cape Town as a windsurfer, which is different, very different than the way a lot of other people do it. I'm not the only one. I'm not claiming I'm the only one who likes the South and stays in the South. Flo Young likes it so much he built a house there. Arthur Arutkin, French pro windsurfer, always stays down there. Jules Denel as well when he's in Cape Town. But most people are still in the north. So there's like two ways to deal with Cape Town. You've got your north spots, your south spots. Most people stay in the north. So this is a little bit of a different approach to Cape Town. And it is the most photogenic place in the world for windsurfing. I think most people would probably say Maui is the most photogenic. I think Cape Town is. Cape Town is absolutely stunning. And as part of the masterclass, we did this when we were there in 2024, is to do a photo shoot day with one of my favorite windsurfing photographers in the world, who does a lot of work for me, a lot of work for Duotone, a lot of work for all the big brands. And he's a buddy of mine. And so he does a photo shoot in the masterclass. And yeah, last time we did it, so it was in 2024. It wasn't, it was last year, but it's a 2-year break. And the photos were amazing. And we're going to get that again. So I'm pretty stoked to be going back to Cape Town. So we got a question from Tamaz. Tamaz is saying, by southern, do I mean Whitsand and Cape Point or Sunset Beach? So I mean south of Cape Town, the city. So that means Kamaki, Whitsands, Misty Cliffs, Scarborough, Cape Point, all of that. Of course, we're going also to Sunset, probably, because Sunset is the most consistent beach for wind and waves. And so it's going to be part of any Cape Town camp. But unlike other groups that are more based in the north, I really like showing the south because it's also a place that people don't know as well. So I'm able to provide more value in showing these really cool spots that people don't necessarily know. I know how to launch at them or what wind directions work. Like Matt was there in 2024, and I mean, he had a magic session at Misty Cliffs, at Cape Point, these places where, yeah, it's not so easy if you don't know what you're doing to get a session there. Misty Cliffs especially. Uh, yeah, it can be pretty daunting because you've got rocks. You have to know how to launch, where to launch. All right. But anyway, Christoph, to answer your question, I will update the Vulcan class. I'm not sure the timeline for it, though. The Shovit course is going to get an update. I have a small update I want to do for the TAC course. And then I have a backside riding course that I'm working on, and a few other more wave-focused courses as well. So we'll see. Like I said, I was expecting a little bit more people to sign up for the Loop course. We have a good group. It's a great community, but I expected more. Like I think we've got about 50 people, and I expected by now to have about 100. So that shifted my focus. And yeah, anyway, that's enough on that. If you want to apply for Cape Town, look out for the application. I'm going to do it today. I'll post it in the Facebook group. I will put it in, everywhere that I post stuff. I'll put it in the YouTube post section. We'll probably send an email about it, all that good stuff. All right, we got sailed with the new Zorro in Israel. Really nice sail on the wave. Awesome. Joe is on the live stream, and he also got new sails, the Ezzy Waves 2026. He also sent me some footage. Awesome. Big waves. Jorg is still in rehab, but getting stronger. All right. So let's jump into the Facebook group. Get things going here. All right. So let's sort by new posts. It's a little bit slow time of year, December, winter in a lot of places that don't have winter windsurfing. All right, so Adam is saying, is this the proper fin to footstrap placement for small wave riding, jumping, looping, and open ocean riding? Okay, so the first thing I'm going to talk about is that these are all very different. So small wave riding is going to want a different setup than jumping, kind of. They're pretty similar. Looping and jumping are going to be the same. But then open ocean riding is going to be very different from small wave riding. It might be similar to jumping, but if you've got a spectrum, a scale, the wave setting is going to be more. Let me make myself bigger so you can see my hands here. Hold on. All right. So I lost the chat. Where's the chat? So if you've got your spectrum on this side, you've got small wave riding. You want the board to be really easy to turn. It turns tight, especially because the waves are small. So you want it to be really loose, able to turn around. And on like open ocean riding, you want the board to be stable. You want it to be fast. You want it to be able to cut through, swell, and chop. It's a very different kind of feel you want. And then in the middle is jumping, because you want it to be fast. You want it to be able to cut through the whitewaters, be able to get out, all of that good stuff. And you don't need as much stability as if you were just doing open ocean riding. So that said, it's not going to be the same. So let's look at the photos here. Let's look at the photos. All right. Let's check these out. All right. So 19.5-inch stance, which is pretty wide. It depends what your height is. That's a good stance, but it's going to be too wide for some people. So 5'11". So if you're only riding in small waves, you might want to go narrower on the stance. I'd probably go somewhere like 18.5 to 19. And then if you're getting into bigger waves, you can go wider. The wide stance is great for wave riding because it puts you in a powerful position. You can test that out yourself. Like if you go in a narrow stance and you squat down, you can see how stable you are. If you go into a wide stance and squat down, see how stable you are, you're way more stable. And it's easier to get low, and it's easier to push forward and push backward. You have so much power, whereas the narrow stance, you don't. But it's not as comfortable. And so if all you're doing is blasting around in open ocean swells, comfort is more important than getting low and carving. And so you can come a lot narrower. In small waves as well, it's less important because you're spending less time in that bottom turn carving. So in big waves, where you're spending more time low carving, having the wide stance is really critical. Also, you need the stability. Stability is more important in the bigger waves, especially if you're dealing with chop, all of that stuff. But for your height and your conditions, I would probably go a little bit smaller on this width. So I'll probably go 18 and a half. But again, all of these things come down to personal preference. All right, let's look at this photo here. So this is a pretty good setup. So for more turning, you can move this center fin farther forward. It's also a pretty small center fin. For your conditions, I think an 18 might give you more of what you're looking for. I'm not sure what the area is on this fin. Of course, we often talk about fin depth, but fin area is also very important. But just looking at the fin, it doesn't look like it has an excessively wide base compared to what I'm riding. And yeah, 17 for your weight is, I think, a really good fin for wave riding. But for the open ocean stuff and the jumping, an 18 is going to give you more um, more more power. Yeah. Yeah, but this is a really good start. So anyway, if you want it to be more turny, you can move that back fin farther forward. But for what you're doing, trying to optimize for all of these things, I think this is a really good starting point. Yeah, I think this is a really good starting point. So just to sum that up, we just talked about this on the live coaching. To sum it up, for wave riding, especially bigger waves, the wide stance is crucial. But for jumping and open ocean blasting, the wide stance can be uncomfortable. For the balance that you're looking for, I recommend trying a little narrower, something like 18.5 inches or even 18. But it's very important to play with these settings so that you learn what works best for you. In terms of fin positioning, this looks solid. You could move the back fin farther forward if you want more turniness on the waves. But that will also make the board less stable in a straight line, which might affect jumping and open ocean blasting. Okay, so the big takeaway is that there's trade-offs, right? When we're tuning our gear, there are trade-offs, and the wide stance is really great for wave riding, but it's not so comfortable for free riding or jumping. And so if you're only jumping or only free riding, you want a narrower stance. And if you're only riding big waves, you want a pretty wide stance. And if you're doing both, some kind of compromise depending on what is preferred for you. I know some people that even have asymmetric strap setup. So if they're always sailing the same wind direction, the jumping side is narrower and the riding side is wider. That's one way to do it. And then again, we're also dealing with trade-offs. If you move that back fin farther forward, you make your cluster tighter, it's going to be looser, easier to turn on the wave, but also not as stable for jumping and the open ocean blasting. All right. We got Stefan Voss in the group. Welcome. Do you have a windsurfing photo or video to post? Either a question or a success moment. We would love to see it. Oh, we got Axel in the chat. Axel is in Morocco. Axel's in Axel. In Tarifa. Nice. All right. So Kevin wants to know when the wind is coming back. All right. So we've got Stanislav saying he wants to buy a new fin set for his small thruster board, and he would appreciate any advice regarding models and size. So the board is a 2011 JP single thruster. He sails the Baltic Sea in side-on conditions, some current and a lot of chop. Sounds like pretty standard Baltic European conditions. Uses 3.7 to 4.5. Current fin set is 10 centimeters in the front and 21.5 G10 main. That sounds like a huge rear fin for that board. Huge. Depends on what you're riding, but if you're focusing on riding waves, it is going to be too big and stiff. It goes upwind and through the shore break, no problem. Yup, and awesome for jumps, but it's kind of stiff while riding waves. Yes, more than kind of stiff. A huge fin like that is going to be almost impossible. Like this is a single fin size fin. If you're riding that with the side fins, whew, like you could take out the side fins and just ride the back fin, and it would still work. Um, so he wants to try the K4s, and he's considering the 10s asymmetric fronts, which recommended 3 total toe-in, but I have very little idea exactly what he wants in the back. Either the Scorcher or the Leon or the Flex. Definitely the Scorcher. He wants to loosen the board up. I would say 100% I recommend the Scorcher over the other option. So the Leon, I think, doesn't have enough tip or sweep, and the Flex, was the fin that we had before we developed the Scorcher. So the Scorcher is, I think, a superior fin. I don't think I would ever want the Flex. The Scorcher is a evolution of the Flex. I think the Scorcher is a great fin. It's a really good outline. It solves some of the problems that the Flex had. I rode a lot in the Flex. I like that fin. The Scorcher is so many times better in terms of a wave riding fin. For the front fins, I love my pro model fin. I love the Ezzy 10s. 3 degrees sounds solid. If you have a more wave focused session, they are great. And if you have a less wave focused session, you can put in the stock side fins and use the 18 cm Scorcher. 18 or 19. So some people are recommending going 18, which is fine for the board size and your weight. But if you're coming from a 21.5 G10 fin, let's go baby steps, right? So 19 is great. All right. Have we already caught up with everything? I think we have. All right, so looks like we've caught up. It is slow time of year, which is fine, but it also means this is a good chance to get attention. So if you are getting on the water or you have questions from earlier in the year or footage that you haven't posted, post it. It's a great time to post photos and videos in the group because I've got the time to spend on it because not many people are getting on the water. We don't have as much footage. It's December, winter. So if you do have questions or photos, now is a great time to post it in the Facebook group. If you are interested in joining the Cape Town Masterclass, it's going to be the 24th to 30th of January. The application will be sent out today, my time today. So it might end up being tomorrow morning if you're in Europe, because it is my Sunday morning here in Hawaii. And it's going to be a really good group. I love Cape Town. It's so beautiful, such a special part of the world. And for a windsurfer, I think it's a very, very special place to know how to windsurf, to be there, experience it. There's not many places like it where you have such great windsurfing and great lifestyle and culture so close to each other. I would have to say it's the only good city that's close to good windsurfing. I can't think of another one. Maybe you guys can. Maybe there's another. San Francisco, maybe, but Cape Town is way more consistent than San Francisco. Like with Cape Town during the season, you can windsurf, wave sail pretty much every day. Pretty much every day. You have to do some driving and you have to know where to go. That's the biggest challenge because it's not always the same spot. You have all these different wind directions, and if it's a little bit different angle, then it works here and not there, and that can be tricky. But in terms of consistency, Cape Town is pretty spectacular. You can really windsurf every day, and Yeah, really great windsurfing, a variety of conditions. It's another reason I love it. It's mostly port tack. It's mostly, I was going to say mostly down the line, but there's also onshore. Oh, Axel's saying Lisbon. Christoph is saying San Francisco. Axel's saying Lisbon. Lisbon is another one. I love Lisbon. I love Portugal. Um, yeah, I love that. But it's not as consistent. Cape Town, man, is so consistent. It's so windy. Such good waves too. I would say that it's not the best windsurfing. There are other places. If you really want the best windsurfing, you go to Mauritius or you go to Cape Verde or you go to Maui. Cape Town, what makes it so special is that it's super consistent. You have this amazing, beautiful natural landscape, this great city, great culture. So it's a really nice place to go for a windsurfing trip. Something similar, I think, with Lisbon. I love going to Lisbon, sailing in Guincho, but Guincho is kind of fickle. You can go there on a good forecast and still not get in the water every day that you expect to, which is weird. Whereas Cape Town, it's windy kind of no matter what. You got to sometimes drive for it. But we got Graham in the chat saying Cape Town for the win. Been howling for weeks. Yeah, I agree. I agree. All right, guys, I'm going to sign off. So look out for the Cape Town application. If you've applied for either Morocco or Denmark masterclasses and you haven't heard back from me, uh, check your email boxes because there was a round of acceptances for both those masterclasses. And so that's if you applied like right when I announced it. Otherwise, the second round of acceptances will happen somewhat soon. So the way I do it, just full transparency, is the first round of acceptances are the easiest. There's a high acceptance rate, and I'm trying to select for I want to make a good group, and part of that is making sure that the level is what I want it to be. I want to have a mix of returning. Oh, did I lose my? I got cut off for a second. I want to. I want to. Sorry, my camera cut out, so I lost my train of thought. I want to have a mix of returning alumni and new windsurfers. So anyway, so the easiest is in that first round of acceptances, and then the remaining acceptances get more and more selective because it's more specific, filling those last few spots. So it is beneficial for you to apply early, and it's also really important for me, especially now, to get all this stuff organized early because I'm no longer living in Europe, and so I have to organize a lot way ahead of time, flights and everything else. So I'm while I'm living on Maui, I'm definitely going to be organizing things earlier, and so expect an earlier acceptance announcement, all of that stuff, which seems to also be what people want. So, all right, I'm going to sign off. I hope you guys have a good, wonderful week, and I will see you next week, Sunday. Remember to post your photos, videos, questions, comments, concerns, successes, all of the above in the Facebook group, and I will see you next week.